Bịanụ ka anyị sie ofe ọra. Ngwa ka anyị bido. Here, this is hello, my beautiful people. Today, I'm going to be telling you how I made this delicious oha soup. I have my banga, cocoyam called the banga. In Igbo is called akwu. M ga-eji Igbo wee kọwaa ezigbote nni anụnwansi. Mana at some point I'm going to be using English, or let me say I'm going to be using English but also mix it up with Igbo language, just for you to know I'm an original Igbo girl from Imo State, Guinea, but I was born and raised in Anambra, Onitsha precisely. Ngwa ka m siere unu ofe ndị Anambra, ka ndị Anambra, ndị Onitsha si esi ofe ọha. For them they call it ofe ọra. Okay, my cocoyam, my akwu is on fire. Here is my meat, my fish, everything I have to use this, they are all available. So about to steam my meat. This is me adding my seasoning. I used Maggi Star. I used 1 cube of Maggi to steam this meat, and I added salt to taste. So you can see me adding my salt, my cocoyam, and akwu banga is on fire. So this is me deboning my Titus fish, my smoked Titus fish. You see this fish? It will give it the most delicious taste that you have ever think of. Okay, here I pieces the fish. I already deboned and took off the dirt in the fish. Then I set it aside, and here is my fresh oha leaf. Can you see how greenish that oha looks? Oh my god, I saw it and I couldn't resist. I had 2 options of soup. Is either I cooked bitter leaf, ofe onugbu, or oha soup. So have you ever thought of why you see oha leaf wrapped in a newspaper? It's just for it to be very fresh, to stay fresh. Can stay fresh for like a week. Then another thing, you see me piecing my oha with my bare hands. You cannot use knife to cut oha. If you use knife, that oha will turn bitter. That soup, you will not eat it. This is what, since I was born and grew up, this is what I have heard, and I have never used knife to cut my oha. So just the way you're seeing it is how I have been cutting my oha. Then I went back to my pot to check my cocoyam and my banga. Then I checked the banga was almost done. In fact, it was done, but my anger is the banga don't have oil. It doesn't have oil, so I pressed it. Honey, please don't laugh at me. You're going to see how I pressed out the oil in my banga. I don't have mortar. Yes, I don't have mortar, but I have a very special way of pounding my apple. So here I use my turning gari. We all know what turning gari is. That's tip 2 for turning gari. So I use it. I was hitting it on it. You can see me pounding on it. But it was not giving me what I want. I have to use my bare hands to press out the oil. It was so hot. That apple was so hot. I was trying to press out the oil in the palm fruit. You can see me trying my best to press it out. I tried and tried and tried and tried. tried my possible best, but my anger is I didn't check the palm fruit before I bought it from the market. Normally, I'm supposed to press and see if there is enough oil. If there is not, I won't buy. And my fish, I boiled water to wash off the dirt. Flies have perched on it, so I have to use salt to wash off. And if there is any germs at all, then I need to wash it off. And here I transferred my banga that I have already pressed out. I washed it. I transferred it to my pot. So here my meat is already in the banga, and I added my fish. I added fish for it to start boiling. So sorry, I didn't show you where I pressed out my banger. And here I was transfer from the gas to the hot plate just for me to film. Then again, if you want to cook a very good or bitter leaf soup, you must use banga and cocoyam. You see these two ingredients, if it's not in your soup, in fact, you don't know what you're cooking. As an original Igbo girl, I used cocoyam and banga, and you must put a lot of crayfish, a whole lot of crayfish must be in your soup. You can see the quantity of crayfish I poured into my blender. I added scotch bonnet and Cameroon pepper for this good scent. So here it's time for me to add my pepper to my soup base. I already added my cocoyam. You can see the cocoyam trying to dissolve. So I bought a new cocoyam, just like we have new yam, we also have new cocoyam. So it does not thicken the soup. So I bought achi. This is my achi powder. Achi powder. If you don't know original achi powder, you will buy the fake and it will give your soup lumps. So this is original achi powder that I bought. I dissolved with cold water. You can see me dissolving it. I dissolved with cold water. Then I transferred back my soup. From my gas, I transferred it back I transferred it back to the hot plate because I am filming. I'm filming for you guys. You must watch. You make sure you watch, subscribe, and like. So I already added my achi to thicken the soup. I don't like the color of my soup because that banga didn't give it the color I wanted. It's just like I used red oil. So here I'm adding my seasoning cubes. I'm still using Maggi Star. I don't know why Maggi Star is what I use always. Hardly use other seasoning cubes. Maggi Star is still the best for me. So I tasted it to see if I should add more seasoning, and I added salt for taste. I don't think I've added salt since, aside from the meat I boiled. So I tasted again. I tested it again. So I bought ogiri. I don't know if most of us know what ogiri. As an Igbo person, if you're cooking as an Anambra person, I grew up in Anambra, just like I said, you must cook with ogiri. Your soup must not lack ogiri. So I added ogiri. I bought ogirisi. We have two types of ogiri. There is okpe and ogirisi. They are both ogirisi. Let me just put it that way. But okpe is for ogbono soup, that dark one, like dawa dawa, but not dawa dawa. It's just like dawa dawa, yes. So yeah, I added it. I didn't add everything. I tasted it again to see if the seasoning is okay. So I boiled water for my gari. It was almost late here. I boiled water, made my gari. The water was boiling. Your hot water for gari must be very very hot. It has to boil very well want to get if you want to make gari. So I poured in my gari. Poured in gari. And after that, I checked it was too strong. I added another water. I topped up the water just to soften it. To soften it, you can see me. I added more water to soften it. So it was time for me to add in my uziza leaf to my soup. I went back to my soup. I added uziza leaf. The soup is almost ready. And you must add uziza leaf to your soup to give it that good scent. That good scent. So, and immediately you add your uziza leaf, that means it is time for you to add your other veggies like my oha. You can see me. Immediately I added the uziza leaf, I added my oha leaf. Oha leaf is there. So, and once you add these two leaves, it is time, just bring it down. The heat is going to soften the leaf and bring it off from your gas or your hot plate. So you can see my soup is ready. So it is time for me to eat. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It will go a long way. See you in my next video. Make sure you try this recipe and comment. See you in my next video. Bye. Let me go and eat.